my car. It wouldn't start. This battery's brand new. It's not even a month old. Have I been swindled? Taken for a fool? No, I just didn't reconnect it. Welcome back everybody to a new episode of the Luxy Rebuild, where today we're going to be doing something that I really should have done more than a year ago. Bump stops, front bump stops. For a little over a year, I've been utilizing components such as my sump, steering arms, and leaf springs as bump stops, but that has to come to an end. The plan was to use this leftover steel and cut out a cardboard template, and to do that with precision, I made sure to just nick the steel. If done correctly, it will separate faster than most parents. And wow, would you look at that? It worked. And it's hot. I jumped right back to it and picked up the grinder to make the second cut, because after all, I needed to make 2 of these bad boys. Another perfect incision. Remarkable. Now that I had cut this steel into 2 cubes, I could then make a certain measurement that I don't know and trace it with a screwdriver and a pen, and then realize that I've marked the wrong face. Better. That's right. I needed to mark the shorter end because it needed to be that way. And once again, I picked up the grinder and was ready to make another cut. This one was a little bit more dangerous, however. I didn't have anything to hold the steel, so I backed it up against another piece of steel and stood on it. I figured all 12 kilos of my weight would hold it still. Yep, just lining it up, bam, and the dirt is gone. I repeated the process once more and found out that it was still hot. Now it was time to bring the car up and prepare it for some welding. I was gonna weld these bad boys on. But also, while we're at it, take a look at the car here and let me know down in the comments. Should we do like a tube style bull bar or like a plate style? I don't know. Either way, let me know down in the comments and we'll see what happens. I am planning on making a bit of an exo cage for it, so I don't know. Keep that in mind as I don't know why I'm like I feel like I'm tasking you with this. But as you can see here, it's a perfect fit. I need to line it up in the middle so that the bump stop actually lands in the middle of that plate, holding the leaf springs in. And once it's in the middle, I can drill a hole. The holes here are quite close to the edge, and I can't really make the actual mount longer because it will rub on the shock, so sue me. I mean, alternatively, I could, move the mount, but nah, I'm not doing that. So using this step drill build, using the step, I was able to make the hole bigger so that it could actually fit the bolt through it. And once it was big enough to fit this bolt through it quite snugly, I turned it around and took the birds out the other side. And of course, repeated the step for the other side. The other side, the other one, yes. The one for the other side. And these are looking mighty fun, if I do say so myself. Not the most complicated things to build, but I'm a happy little boy. And as you can see here, I'm chocking the back wheels. Don't be concerned at what width, but I'm going to be jacking the front of the car up and putting it on axle stands, taking the wheels off once again so that it's a little bit more accessible to weld the chassis. And it's really nice to have an actually decent car jack. I mean, for those of you who subscribed after I've crashed the car and joined along for the rebuild, I used to take a set of wheels out off-road and use a destroyed, rusty old car jack that was probably built in the 1800s to jack the car up, and this is it's a treat. Speaking of the good old days, I sold my traps when I crashed the car in order to, stay afloat. And if anyone has some traps for sale, let me know. I have approximately $20 to my name and, well, we'll do just about anything for a good set of wheels. Anyway, we're getting off topic. How could you take me away from this? I've gotten the angle grinder out again and I'm going to take off a lick of paint in order to get good contact for the welding. And like everything else that I do in this channel, safety is #1 priority. We're going to disconnect the battery to protect it and any other onboard computers that this 20-year-old car might have. I don't know. I also took a wet rag and covered it around the brake line. Safety, guys, come on. Once the mounts were tacked into place, I could then attack it completely, weld it into place and fuse it with this chassis forevermore. Now, I won't be giving you a close-up of these welds for reasons pretty obvious, but if you ever see this car out in the wild, feel free to go ahead and take a closer look. Take some photos and even show your fabricator friends. They'll have a laugh. Actually, you know what I was thinking? The car's looking pretty bland at the moment. I mean, the white paint is good and all, but it isn't as flamboyant as the old design used to be. Actually, flamboyance. Did you know flamboyance is a group of flamingos? Now, there's something to tell your parents when they ask you, did you learn anything today? But I don't know how to wrap the car. I don't want to repaint it, but give me your 2 favorite colors down in the comments and I'll pick one of them. Like I'll pick one of your suggestions, not just one. And wowee, just like that. Don't show them the welds. No, I said don't give them a close-up. With the battery connected and the Luxy roaring to power, I reverse back down the driveway to test out the new bump stop, see if I can hit the limit on a few different bumps and lumps around the property. And also, I just wanted to drive the car a little bit more. And as you can see here, just as the leaf starts to invert, we have full contact on the bump stop. And these are only 33-inch tires, so with a little bit bigger of a diameter, it's going to fit perfectly and it won't rub anywhere, I don't think. It probably will though. But you can see that the center of the bump stop pretty much perfectly falls in between all of these nuts. So many nuts. But I'm pretty happy with the result. Alright, right off the bat, I can see that I'm pretty sure that I've lost a bit of flex. I've definitely limited the amount of up travel, but the leaves are limiting my down travel, so we might have to figure something out in the future. But I think bump stops are probably better than no bump stops. Alright, I don't have axles to actually drive in four-wheel drive, so this is as good as we're going to get for a flex test. Here's another look at the same thing, except I've noticed that the brake line is actually getting pinched underneath the bump stop, so nothing that a few zip ties won't help. But it feels good to actually have the car flexing a little bit, even if it is just a little bit. I also tried to, pick up the speed a little bit on some rough road to see if it would actually bottom out, and it never felt like it did. So that's another bonus. It also does help though that the 80 series bump stops compress a hell of a lot. And another side note here, look at how nice the car steers now. I do think I have some of the preload set wrong on the knuckles because the steering does feel a little bit tight, at least tighter than normal. So that's something I'll address sooner rather than later because I don't want to replace more bearings. But with that marks the end of another episode of the Luxy rebuild saga, and you guys seem to be enjoying it, which I really appreciate. And a quick, friendly, not at all passive aggressive reminder that this graph right in front of you on the screen shows what percentage of you are subscribed and are not subscribed who are watching this video. So let's get that number a little bit more even, or I will slash all of your tires, and I won't say that it was me. So I mean, it's your funeral.